SAFEMOON team charged with fraud. Is the Rugpull confirmed? This is Around the Blockchain. Thank you for joining. Make sure you hit that like button because we got 3 of the smartest guests in all of crypto. And I'm going to go ahead and start, whether he's in a pack or he's howling at the moon alone. He is the wolf of all streets. It is Scott Melker. Scott, how are you doing today?
Doing well today. How are you, Dizzy?
I'm doing great as always. And you know what? We got the wolf of all streets. Well, we got the wolf of all screens, and that's Gareth Soloway. But you know what? I bet he could out-trade you with a little Android phone, folks. Gareth, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, buddy. Thanks for having me.
You know what? He'd out-trade you with a razor. All right. Also on, we have Joshua Jock. It didn't have to be the diamond-studded one either. Diamond-studded Josh is what I like to call him. Josh, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Always a great time. All right, let's just get right into the first topic, and that is NEAR. NEAR has been rallying. I pulled up the chart here. Let me go ahead and do a shorter time frame. You look at that 14-day or that 7-day, this thing is looking incredibly bullish, folks. We go to 30 days, still looking bullish. I think even 180-day, oh, no, not so much. 1 year, oh, no, not so much. You go to the max, holy crap, this coin is dead? Why are we talking about it pumping? Well, folks, it is up 15.8%. which is significantly higher than what you'd normally see in the top 40 coins, top 50 coins. But they just announced a new partnership with a privacy-centric protocol, NIM Foundation, I believe it is, and NIM Mixnet, sorry. Well, NIM, has some pretty good backers. A little company called Andreessen Horowitz, A16Z, is involved in. Another small exchange investment arm invested in it, Binance Labs. So we got A16Z, Binance Labs back in this entity here. The statement said, NIM is going to mask off-chain metadata, protect data, transaction data in transit, and make it much more difficult for adversaries to de-anonymize your IP server. All those people with the VPN on. Maybe this one's for you. And also, NEAR has a big conference in Lisbon next week. Now, Scott, I want to ask you, NEAR is looking really good when I just look at this recent narrative. Right now, I kind of feel like it's a VC pump happening. We're seeing it with a lot of L1s. We're seeing it with Solana. With this recent 16% pump, is this setting up to you where NEAR could potentially be one of the top VC L1s?
I don't know if it's going to be a top VC L1. This is simply a case of Solana pumped. It's an L1. So now we take that narrative and we go in the washing machine and we find the next one. Ooh, Solana had Breakpoint. They have a conference. We needed to pump that coin. Who else has a conference? Oh, it's NEAR. They have NearCon. Sorry. So they're going to have a conference. We need to pump this coin, guys. It's going to go up. Like, if you're literally getting a hard on from Andreessen Horowitz and Binance being invested in something, then you should literally have a hard on for the entire market, because every single coin in this market has an investment from Andreessen Horowitz, Binance, Coinbase, Alameda, and any friend SBF ever had in the past. I don't know if this is a VC token, if it's pumping because of that. It's pumping because shit is pumping right now. And it was the next obvious thing to pump on a narrative. I don't think that there's anything meaningful here. Nobody cares even a little bit about a partnership with some other thing that you've literally never heard of, or privacy, or any other stupid blockchain language that we come up with to pump our bags. It's going up because it's going up.
Wait a minute. That just totally shocks my foundation. Are you going to say all these chain link partnerships weren't a bullish scenario? Also, one more thing. Wait a minute. Coins pump before conferences. What are you talking about? No, and you mean they might even dump after? Never, folks, never. All right. Well, Gareth, let's talk about the charts here. I think it's currently ranked. It was 36. If I look right now, it's fallen down to 37, kind of bouncing around between 35 and 40 here in market cap. On the short term, you look at the 14-day chart, you look at the last 30 days, it looks pretty bullish. Maybe it's the L1 pump right now. But when you zoom out and you see it used to be near $20, I can't help but feel bearish here. What are some of the maybe near-term levels we should be looking at?
Yeah. So one of the things that I learned early on in trading, and I got suckered into this, is you can't really say, oh, well, it was this price back when, because again, there was a different time. We had a different monetary system going on. We had lots of money flooding into the system. But having said that, let's take that look, right? And so first thing first, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am short NEAR. Yes, I am. So, I may have just
2 points for honesty.
My own grave here. But basically I just follow charts, right? Just like Scott was saying, is, it's pumping probably because the whole area is pumping. And the one thing I see here is check this out, right? You just draw a line back to these pivots, this pivot, and this low, and you can even go back further, but that's a lot of resistance. Now, again, folks, remember, I have nothing against near. It's a short-term trade. It pulls back to like a buck 35. I'm out. I'm booking my profits. I couldn't care less about it after that if it goes up or down. But on a technical basis, it is interesting. And when you get the big green candles at the end of this move, this is exactly what blow-off tops in stocks and commodities do. So just be a little careful there. Case in point, I just want to show you guys Solana. Solana, huge candle today, but look at the pullback. It's down from 47 back to 41.78 just intraday. So that was a blow-off top. Be careful on near here. Again, when it pulls back, feel free to buy it. That's totally up to you guys. I would just recommend being careful chasing something that's gone up almost 100% in a week or two.
All right, you hear that, market makers? Yes. Stop loss hunters? Yes. No, he's in a short. Pump it, pamp it, baby, pamp it.
That was my
You gotta
concern,
hunt his
by the way,
part. Well, luckily it's in. Oh God, I was going to say, well, it's in an obscure altcoin. No, that just means it's easier to manipulate. Nope.
That's
All right,
right.
well, Josh, let's talk about that decline here. It's down 90%. Does that just make you totally bearish on the coin or totally bullish on the coin? What does the 90% correction do to your mentality when it comes to whether or not you want to invest in near?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to what SaaS model that is not looking like a hospice network in the middle of this bear market. Most crypto altcoins are going to be down 95, 99% at this point. So I have to come in here and I'm not going to go for as much flesh as Scott did, just completely ravishing the bone of near protocol holders. But ultimately, yeah, look at what's going on with the markets right here, right? We're coming directly off a pump from altcoins. That money's going to be flowing over. You have equity markets today actually starting to react a little bit positively, expecting a little bit more consumer spending moving into November, December. And of course, you're going to see, Binance Labs, Andreessen Horowitz, these big VC capital names start probably trending on Twitter or the announcements, like you mentioned, with these major partnerships after just seeing Solana partner with, I believe, Google Cloud and AWS. So in this trend, in this narrative, we're just seeing, another layer one out there just kind of catch that storm and just see a little bit of a breakout off that 15, 16%, like you mentioned today. So is near protocol, going to be this next, trending layer one? Well, Binance Labs and all of these market makers and these exchange and these hedge fund managers, they're acting as every single category in this industry. They're pumping, a ton of layer ones up right now. I think Celestia was also rallying up today. So for near protocol, I'd have to agree with both people sitting on the panel here today. Just understand the market conditions that we're in and just realize that if we do see blow off tops or you see significant gains in these altcoins, just realize that, again, that network's been looking like a hospice chains for over a year now, and people are going to take profits. So be ready on that.
All right. Watch out for Binance Labs and Andreessen. They will dump on you. But hey, maybe they want to pump before they dump. So we'll see. All right. Let's talk about Tether, folks. We're going to talk about Tether. Is it real? Is it fake? What are these attestations? What does it even mean? Well, if we look at the market cap right now, we're coming in right below 85 billion. Guys, we just need one more little Tether print right there, and we're going to be past the 85 billion mark there. But according to the Q3 attestation, that's just their not that heavily scrutinized report that they put out every 3 months. They said they have the highest ever cash equivalency. And not only that, they have the highest amount of excess funds that they have ever seen. And not only that, the funds that they do hold, according to their words, are seemingly pretty healthy right now. Of the $84 billion, $85 billion market cap, $72 billion is in U.S. Treasury bills, of which most have a maturity date of less than 90 days. And not only that, they are a couple billion above 3.2 billion in cash equivalents there. So looking kind of healthy. You might see a meme of an empty bank vault in the Bahamas, but Tether just keeps pumping along, keeps moving along here now. Oh, Scott, I kind of want to just get your thoughts here. What is Scott's thoughts? Not Scott's tots, not to be misrepresented there. They deserve more than battery packs. But Scott, what are your thoughts on Tether? Is it healthy or is it just a black swan waiting to collapse?
Well, my wife thinks I'm just like Tether and I have a maturity of less than 90 days. So it's hard for me to comment on it. But listen, I think that Tether probably has an inauspicious past. I'm sure that before they weren't necessarily fully backed, or they were backed by paper, or they were backed by commercial paper or Chinese paper or whatever paper people want to throw at them. The bottom line is they're one of the best companies right now in crypto. They're proving it every single day with real accounting and real attestations. They're fully backed and more. They're doing more for this industry than most. They're doing more for the dollar than most. And they're benefiting hugely from these high yields, right? This company literally takes in these deposits, they put it into short-term treasuries, they earn their 5%, they make billions a quarter, and are just laughing in the face of people who have been flooding them for almost a decade. It's comical. This company has really hacked what is the killer app of crypto, and that, sadly for Bitcoiners and Bitcoin maxis, I know it'll make you cry in the corner and you're going to come attack me after this. And I haven't prayed to your wizards and gods that I need clearance to say this, but Tether is the killer app right now of crypto. People in countries like Lebanon and Venezuela and Iran and Ukraine, where they're dying to get dollars, where there's hyperinflation or conflict, they're not rushing into Bitcoin. They're rushing into Tether because they want access to dollars, which they can't get anywhere outside of the black market, if they even can get their hands in cash. The dollar is the global reserve currency. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. That's what people want. And the way they're getting it right now is in Tether. We just saw even in Brazil that Tether transactions in the last year were more than all other crypto combined. So go cry me a fucking river. I don't care. Tether is crushing it.
All right. And to that point there, I will totally agree with that. I say that as well. I say, the number one use case for crypto right now is the utility of stablecoins. With working with NFT projects, working with SaaS products like Boomio, 0 is the amount of time someone's asked me to get paid in Bitcoin overseas. Whereas stablecoins, not with American cash, in their currency, they want stablecoins, folks. They want stablecoins. 0 Bitcoin requests there. All right. Well, I want to ask, you kind of bring up a good point there. Scott is one of the best ran companies, best ran products. Let me share this tweet. I just want to read 2 of the top sentences here. Tether is the most successful product and company in crypto. The U.S. government killed its competitors and is now paying it billions a year in interest. What are your thoughts about that, Gareth? Do you agree that Tether is perhaps the best ran company in crypto? What are your thoughts about the government paying Tether billions in interest?
Sorry, buddy. I was just following PayPal earnings just got released. I apologize. Listen.
Hey, we got to look at PayPal, folks.
The chart was bouncing. As you could see, his eyes following the bouncing
known
chart.
As X. Well, PayPal used to be known as X, so we're reading off of X posts. So you know what? That's understandable.
No, yeah, I just have a small position, just $10 million in it, so it's not a big deal or anything like that. But
priorities.
Anyways,
priorities.
Dude, you see, that's how much I love you guys. Like, I was literally like, all right, my biggest Roku comes out with earnings after the bell and PayPal, and I'm still gonna come on ATV. So I love
we love Gareth Soloway. We love. All right, if you want, I'll reread it. It's just 2 sentences here. Tether is the most successful product and company in crypto. The U.S. government killed its competitors and now paying it billions a year in interest. Is Tether the most successful company and product in crypto? What are your thoughts about the government paying them billions? Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime the government's going to give you money instead of printing it, it's probably better than not. It's one of those things where I do think that Tether has a place in the future, and I do think that if the government is pushing money towards you, it's much better than if they're trying to take it away. And we know in crypto that's very, very common. So I would just say this, is that I don't know a whole lot about the inner workings of what's going on with Tether. I would leave that to Scott and the rest of the panel. But I will say this, is that Tether is here to stay. I don't see even a digital coin from the US partaking and taking away from it. I think people want it. I think globally it's more trusted than anything the US could ever put out. And yeah, I'll leave it at that as I go back to look at PayPal.
All right, I'm gonna look at this 1 minute after hours chart here. I don't know how much longer we have before it starts trading, but okay, it's just kind of trading along sideways. All right, he's gonna be watching these levels, folks, because hey, looks like we need to break above this resistance, anyways. All right, Josh, we got you here, and I want to ask you about the government's role in Tether, because really, the government has the red button that they could hit at any time here. How likely do you think, or maybe what's your timeline on Tether getting banned in the U.S. for non-compliance?
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if we'll actually see an approach to that. I think Scott brought up a lot of great points that people need to realize about the crypto industry. It's not some decentralized cesspool of nerds just jerking off each other anymore. This is just a masquerade, and Tether's the largest money printer in the industry. And so this is why you see like Michael Carr from the Federal Reserve and the Federal Reserve directly attacking the stablecoin industry, because they want to attach and regulate all of these stablecoins and force them to hold one-of-one reserves to US dollars. And that is what the industry completely relies on. Yes, Bitcoin's a really big narrative, and a lot of Bitcoin maximalists, and even myself, we want to see that, definitely engage with just global access and global liquidity and continue to be this fight against or hedge against inflation. But 80% of the industry is completely reliant on stable coins that are all backed by these treasuries. So are we going to see a downfall of this? I don't necessarily believe so. I think you're seeing Tether build a lot of great initiatives. They just I think it was Brazil. I don't think it was Brazil or Argentina, where they're now approaching Bitcoin mining, creating new mempools and just accelerating their services. So, Tether's this, how I look at it is kind of the BlackRock of the crypto industry. They are too large to fail at this point, and the way isn't to push them out and bound them outright. It's just to slowly absorb more liquidity in this industry, and I think you're going to see them target that with companies like Circle and USDC.
I should have put it up ahead of time. Yeah, when you look at the amount of U.S. Treasuries Tether has, they start approaching high GDP countries. It's going to be interesting to see if they ever hit the level of, I don't think Japan or China, but, maybe potentially and certainly can hit top 10 for sure. All right, let's talk about SAFEMOON, folks. I'm sorry, this channel, we did publicly, I'll say attack. We publicly attacked SAFEMOON a long time ago. We got a lot of flack for it. I feel like we maybe got some lambs out of the slaughterhouse there, though. Look at that one daily candle drop there, 56%. That's just on the 1 day. Still looks like maybe it's finding a little bit of a bottom there. You look at the 7-day, the 14-day, it looks pretty scary. But we always, I didn't know it was going to be that bad, folks. I didn't click on that yet. All right, let's go to the 1 year. It doesn't look quite as bad. All right, yeah, you can see a sharp decline. Let me go to the max one more time. That is just shocking that SAFEMOON's chart looks that bad, folks. I'm not trying to make any fun here. Well, let me just read the first couple paragraphs from this story because, guys, this thing plays out like some sort of James Bond B-reel here. SAFEMOON execs arrested by Department of Justice in a fraud investigation. The CEO and CTO were arrested, accused of withdrawing more than $200 million. What are they doing? They're buying luxury cars and homes, FTX, from funds that they told investors were locked, according to the Department of Justice and the regulator here. And they've arrested and charged the executive team with perpetrating a massive fraud on its investors in a case also targeted by the SEC. I looked into it a little bit. It was a custom Porsche 911, paying $866,000. So, hey, if you're a shorter person, maybe a pretty fun car to drive around, I would say. The SEC did have a quote here. Unregistered offerings lack the disclosures and accountability that the law demands, and they attract scammers like Kyle, who use these vulnerabilities to enrich themselves at the expense of others. So coming after the SAFEMOON, let me just say this pretty quickly for the SEC. Normally they're charging, Kim K, you did this in 2018, and you're like, well, it's 2023, but okay, we'll charge her today. All right, well, let's just get right into it. Scott, oh, man. What are Scott's? Yeah, I just like Scott's thoughts. I don't know if it's the rhyming aspect of it or what. What is Scott's thoughts on meme coins? You know what? The meme coin community is trying to silence you, but we're going to unmask that.
Yeah, I got it. I made a joke about SAFEMOON, and it was so bad that I had to mute myself when I was saying
All right, two more points for the honesty here.
We all saw the absolute insanity and FOMO and hype of the last meme coin cycle, and this was clearly one of them that had no value. I mean, obviously, we saw Dave Portnoy called himself the president of SAFEMOON, and then it Rugpulled. I think you had a pretty good top signals for this one. As for meme coins in general, listen, there are some that are fun and funny and perhaps are, like Doge was not created to enrich a couple people who are buying Ferraris. I think the guy who created Doge actually drives like a Toyota Corolla and sold all his coins a long time ago and cries on Twitter every single day about it and how bad crypto is and what a loser he is. But regardless, I think we all know that meme coins have no fundamental value. They're completely stupid. They're casino chips. You're playing blackjack against the house and you're always going to lose in the end. So if you are trading meme coins, you're just trying to hopefully get lucky, catch the pump. And if you're a dumbass and you keep holding it, you're going to go to zero. Otherwise, hopefully you sell and you take some profits. And you too can enrich yourself and drive a stupid sports car alongside these three guys who will be driving it straight into jail. Exactly where they belong, right? It's going to, at least they can arrive in a nice car when they come up to get indicted. The fact is, they sold a fake bill of goods, and there are times, I hate to say it, I know it's going to make people mad, but there are times when the regulators are right. This was obviously unregistered security offering with false premises from promoters, including some of the biggest celebrities in the world. And anyone who's been here before knew exactly where this was going. I never owned it. I shit on it from day one. I'm proud of that. I've made my mistakes in the world, but going against SAFEMOON certainly was not one of them. This deserves to go to zero. I'm sad for anyone who's still holding it and believed in it. They're always the victims, but these guys are going to go to jail and there will be some justice served.
And they're still in the back of a fast car. It's the Crown Vic Interceptor package. So, hey, man, it's got some kicks to it. All right, Gareth here. Oh, man. We're going to go around the blockchain, too. You guys are going to stick around for the end on this one for sure. But, I just kind of want to bring up the point Scott mentioned earlier, and that was a top signal. I couldn't help but chuckle. SAFEMOON did have some pretty clear top signals, whether it was a stool presidente, revealing the hat like he's in the NBA draft, quite melodramatic. What's just a general top signal? And follow up, how's PayPal doing?
Yeah. So PayPal, I had an order out to sell. I had 200,000 shares of it. They took 1,800 shares and then it dropped back down. So they threw me a bone. I can afford
9%. You said 18 out of 200.
1,800 shares out of 200,000.
Oh, 0.9%. Hey,
pretty bad. So either way, I like the company. We're going to stick with it. But going back to what you were saying is, so I reiterate what Scott said. Like there is a lot of bad actors in crypto. I think the fact that the SEC is moving faster probably is actually a positive because it tells us that they're going to be approving this spot ETF sooner, which means that they have to showcase that they're more on top of things, right? So they can't wait 2 years to prosecute. I mean, imagine in the stock market if it's like 2 years later that someone was a fraud and had a fraudulent company. You can't do that. So I think that might be. I'll spin it in that positive light. I think that's a good thing.
All right. I kind of like that theory. They got to do it before, ETF news and all these natural pumps start happening in the market here. All right, Josh, one question before we go around the blockchain here. Is there ever such a thing as a safe meme coin? What would you consider the most safe?
Poker. It's probably your highest odds at winning anything, as long as you can bluff a little bit. But these meme coins, guys, they are.
Josh, it's blast. Oh my God, it's blackjack.
It's not blackjack. You got to play. 1-2s. Go into a drunk Las Vegas room. Your numbers outweigh your odds there. But ultimately with these meme coins, they are going to be slot machines, and it's good to see coming out of this. Actually, the most exciting thing I'm excited for out of any of this is going to be the fact that the SEC is stepping in. And actually going after bad actors. I think, I'm also someone that advocated against SAFEMOON since the beginning. And there's a lot of other altcoins out there. Hex is next. I'm still waiting and anticipating on the downfall of a lot of these. So unfortunately, they're just going to come in this industry. There's going to be a lot of speculation. None of these tokens have any utility or value to them. It's just the hype that they can generate off Twitter and whoever can be the loudest. It's kind of like the MAGA Republicans of the industry, just going to scream, be loud, get on Twitter, go viral, pump those tokens, and then ultimately just completely drop those on the back end. So, seeing the SEC step in, I don't know if it's going to be to Garrett's point of them actually trying to show that they do have substance and they are trying to secure and protect investors, although they were a few years way too late on SafeMoon. I could also be just another factor that Gary Gensler, the Guzzle Gensler, is going to be, just completely failing back to back with lawsuits that he's been approaching in the industry. The only one that I know they've had like a good win on was Library in terms of settlements. But they've been seeing a lot of losses. And so seeing this come out in the crypto industry could give them a little bit of more maturity or more respect once again. And I'm looking forward to seeing them actually go after more of these paid, these fraudulent actors in the crypto market, because there's an endless plethora of them. So long ways to go.
Well, let's talk about the fraudulent actor. We're going to go around the blockchain. I'm going to ask everybody one question here. It's going to be a fun question. And chat, feel free to answer. Is this the last arrest of the bear market? Scott, is this the last arrest of the bear market?
No, definitely not. Not even close. And well, listen, I don't think it's necessarily a bear market, but I also don't think it's the last arrest.
All right, Gareth, is this the last arrest of the bear market? You know what? They're trying to arrest your voice.
I was muted by the people that don't want us talking here again. But no, it's needless to say, it is not the end of it. There's probably more to come than any of us even think. And I think you just have to be as it comes in. Do your due diligence. Don't invest in shit that you think just because you can make 100x on it because other people are buying it. Like, find projects that actually have quality.
Somewhere Jake Paul and Soulja Boy is like, it's the meme. I effed up. All right, Josh, is that the last arrest of the bear market?
Not all. I think now's the time to do, the one thing you got to hand to Dave Portnoy is holding, I think, the champagne bottles for every time one of his enemies fall down. He pops it off, and this might be what you're about to see with a lot of the arrests in this industry. I don't expect him slowing down. And as asset managers flood in and financial institutions want to take over this space, you're going to see a lot more people pushed out and arrested.
All right. Well, folks, this has been a wonderful episode. I think you think the same. So go ahead and hit that like button. In fact, I know you think the same. So I asked nicely, hey, please hit the like button. It don't cost you anything. But Scott ended up taking it with the most points here. So Scott, feel free, leave us with some parting thoughts and, share where can we find your content?
You can find me at Scott Melker on Twitter. Everything else is there. But I would like to say that I've actually sat in that chair where Gareth is before, and there are more screens per capita in that room than any other room literally on the planet. If you go around it, there's 100 screens per person. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's basically the scene from Grandma's Boy, where he's making the video game. But that, guys, that's all we have time for. It's been a wonderful episode. We'll see you in the future around the blockchain.